today's vlog, we're going to talk about something very interesting to me. The YouTube videos. When we started this, I didn't know what to expect. I knew that what we did was kind of unique and different and interesting. In a lot of ways, it was very interesting to me, and it turns out to be very interesting to a lot of people. Our channel is we're at about 3.5 million people have viewed our channel since we started back in October. Which, you compare that to Mr. Beast, that's nothing, but compared to the fact that we started from zero, I think it's pretty good. We're approaching 19,000 subscribers. It's growing pretty steadily. And it's interesting to see the subject matters, or the subjects that people are most interested in. The scrap metal videos are, they get a lot of dialogue. The scrap metal place that we've been taking our stuff to that's closest to us, they're the most organized. They get the cleanest property, and I value my time. I like to get in and get out. So the funny thing is we do the scrap videos, and we're videoing what we're doing, and people are watching it, and they're like, "Wow, that's really cool." And then like, "Wait a second, what? Number 3 copper? What are you talking about?" And we've never heard of number 3 copper either. And it's a pretty respectable looking place to me. They're very successful. I have over the years seen them cheat people at the scale pretty frequently, and gosh, that just really bothers me. Everybody's got a different journey in life, and a lot of these people, they have, they're trying to get their next meal out of this scrap metal, and the guys, in my opinion, was cheating them at the scale. And I don't know, man. I just don't see where that helps anybody out. So the scrap metal guys, I realize that if you bring it in and it's not as clean as they want or whatever, that somebody's got to clean it. But some of the stuff I've seen is pretty blatant. For example, a guy had a whole garbage can full of wire, and there were 2 or 3 pieces on top that had the wire connector still on them, which makes it dirty. Well, when they dumped it out into the bin, there was only 2 or 3 pieces at the top. All the rest of it was clean. He gave the guy dirty copper price for the whole thing. I don't think that's fair. I don't know what you think about that, but I don't think it's fair. It's also none of my business. So I'm sitting there watching him and going, So I caught the guy as he went to his car, and I said, "Do you realize that he downgraded your whole load because you had 2 or 3 connect?" "Oh, he didn't do that." "Yeah, he did." And he went back over and said, "You know what? You gave me dirty and they almost got into a fist fight over this. So anyway, isn't my business. Is my business. I just can't stand by why people do stuff like that. But anyway, here's what's going on. It's very interesting. So we had our biggest scrap run ever a couple days ago, and we've had some pretty big scrap runs. $24,000 and $25,000 over the years. It's interesting to hear people talk about, the tax man's got your number, and I'm like, dude, when you do as much as we do, we don't hide anything. We just pay our taxes. We don't want to go to jail over this stuff. It's just stupid, save $2,000 and go to jail for a year for it. It's just not something I want to do. I just don't think it's worth it. It's too easy to prove as well. So that's one thing. The other thing is, one of the employees was having a cow about us filming there, and I couldn't tell if it was a girl or if it was a guy. I'm sorry, I couldn't. Sounded like a guy, talked like a girl, kind of looked like they had breasts. I couldn't tell. And so in my mind, I'm an old dude, man. I'm like, so one time I'm calling him a he, and next time I'm calling him a she. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I just, in my head, I hadn't sorted it out yet, and I still haven't sorted it out. Well, that person is giving us number 3 pricing for some of our copper, and they're saying that the copper is number 3 because it's it has paint and bluing on it. Well, apparently there is a number 3 copper, and number 3 copper is a sheet kind of a copper. So this person is wrong, and they paid us 10 cents less per pound for it, and we had a lot. So I don't know. And it's funny is not coming from us, it's coming from the YouTube community. They're given a lot of grief, and then I guess these guys are watching these videos from this scrap metal place. Well, they gave us a call and said, hey, you can't come here anymore. You can't film here anymore. And we're like, my lead guy, Talon, I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but my lead guy, Talon's like, well, what do you got to hide? What's the big deal? This is part of what we do. We film stuff that we do that's interesting, and we show it to people. And he's kind of in their face about it. And they say, well, they're being diplomatically or trying to be politically correct. They're saying, okay, well, we really want to work this out with you guys, and so on and so forth. And he says, you need to make note of the fact that between this big teardown we did and this load we did, you're talking 50 grand. You guys got 50 grand. You paid us 50 grand. We know you're going to make at least 50 grand. You're probably going to make 100 grand. So you need to make up your mind. Can we film for an hour while we're there, our own operations of what we're doing? We haven't run you through the mud. We haven't said anything ourselves about you. We're asking questions. I've stated online that I'm not happy with the way that I see when people get screwed, but that was the previous owner of this place, not you. So we've never said anything that sheds a bad light on them. So now we're like, wait a second. So you don't want us to come back? No, we do want you to come back. We just don't want you to film. Well, we don't want to come back if we can't film. Now, meanwhile, we're opening up another location about 100 miles away from here in Sarasota. And we'll just go ahead and start taking our scrap up there because they appreciate us and they want our business. So what happened here is Talon took the time and he went and he called around a bunch of scrap yards that were not too far away from here. And he found one that was willing to pay significantly more. So we went back to this place and said, hey, these guys are going to pay us $1.20 more per pound for this bare bright copper and for this regular wire copper. We also bought a wire stripper. We're going to do more wire stripping. We've been able to get a little more organized in the mornings, and I got a lot of labor at the shop for about an hour before we go off on our jobs, and we use that labor to unload trucks and to do scrap metal. Is a big group, 100 guys. You can do a lot of stuff with 100 guys in a little bit of time. So what's the point here? So I'm getting a comment from one of the employees there. The employee is saying to us, I've gotten into arguments with these guys over stuff like what you're talking about, and apparently they are doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. According to him, not according to me, according to you guys watching the videos. So he's telling us that they're going to transfer him to another location because, he can't get along with these guys. Well, he said that person, which is this person that we've dealt with, is having the issue. Now, that same person went to the owner of the company and had a cow and said, these guys are filming me and I don't want them filming me and da-da-da-da-da. Well, once she told us, first of all, there's nothing that says that they prefer for you not to film on the premises. There's nothing there. She said, the management said, that you can't film here. But meanwhile, 30 minutes before that, we were filming with one of their yard managers unloading all this bare bright copper onto off of our trailer into their bins. So you see where we're getting confused here. Okay, so at any rate, so they call us up, say, well, this person's gonna doesn't want you to film, and blah 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 blah. And we're like, okay, well, when we come, why don't they go in the back? Somebody else deal with us, and so on and so forth. That was one solution. The other solution is, why don't you fire them if there's a problem? If they got a problem working where you're at, fire them. I mean, you can't tell. My employees are not going to tell me how I'm going to do my business, okay? It's just not the way it works. If they don't want to be filmed, don't be on the floor. There's plenty of people on the floor. When we go, we typically try to time it so it's not the busiest time for them and they can handle us. We use up all our carts. We do 70 carts. Well, they only have 30 carts. So I got to recycle their carts twice. Plus, they got to still do the little bit of business they're doing while we are there. So it's a lot. So this person is telling me that we are getting them fired, and I'm like, oh boy, I don't know how us documenting what we're doing and you telling us something that's not true and charging and downgrading our load with BS. How does that have anything to do with me getting you fired? So I don't know. It's just funny. It's drama, dialogue, funny. But what I'm talking about is scrap metal is crazy. It's crazy. It's got a crazy little following. It's pretty cool. I think it's fun. But at any rate, Daryl Ives, Channel Jump Starter. You know, he's the guy behind. One of the guys probably. There's probably a lot of guys behind Mr. Beast and his success. You know, he's an analyst. He teaches you how to do the YouTube stuff, and he tells you a lot of stuff, and I'm learning a lot of what he said is absolutely true. So he was telling me that you got to have buckets. Okay, well, one of our buckets is scrap metal. One of our other buckets is walkthroughs. People want to see what we're going to get out of these houses that we're going to tear down. I thought when we started this that the big bucket would be tearing the houses down and watching people tear the houses down, and there are people that want to watch that too. So that's 3 buckets. The other bucket is doing silly stuff with trucks and stuff like that, running them into houses and things like that. And I thought that would be wildly exciting to people, and it's just been mildly exciting. So the point that I'm making here is that we're learning as we grow. We're learning stuff about the community. We're understanding what people want to see. And it's very interesting to me to see the humanness and the dialogue and the drama going on inside of this. The vlog today was basically, wow, look what's going on here. So, Mary, it's Remove It Pros Demolition, and I'll see you on the next video.